When you Google a Scrum Master, inevitably you get pages that tell you what a Scrum Master is and what they do all day. So I've been reflecting and thinking about all the things that I've done as a Scrum Master. I came up with quite a big list, and of course, on the top of that list, I started thinking about my cringiest, worst mistakes I've ever made. So I'm going to share them with you and talk about some ways that I've course corrected in hopes that this might help you just feel a little bit better about yourselves or get some ideas on how to make some corrections on your own. All right, so I'm going to take you down the rabbit hole that is my mind. So, the first mistake that I made was allowing micromanagement from the leadership to the team. I worked at a company that took story points so seriously, it was tracked day by day, person by person. I let this go on for much longer than it should have. And the consequences of this was we focused on story points rather than functionality, impact, or user feedback. It built a culture of fear. People were stressed, and we took way too much time and debate when sizing stories and refinements and plannings. They had so much at stake, they couldn't afford to be wrong. How I eventually course corrected. So I saw what this was doing to the team and how toxic it was. So I eventually got up the courage. I met with management and explained story points are for the team to see trends and to help with future capacity planning, not assessing how much work is being done and if they're doing enough. I also helped by creating a sprint summary of the goals achieved. This is functionality, the impediments we face, our committed versus completed. You can pause and take a look at this if you'd like. This helped give them more of an overview and a holistic understanding of what happened within the sprint, and even gave them something to help us with. I also switched them to, rather than story points, let's look at the velocity chart. Let's look at trends. Let's see if we're progressing in a good direction as a team. It did help get them out of that day-to-day micromanagement. The next mistake I made was I've neglected our business partners and stakeholders. I, as a Scrum Master, need to make sure they're along for the ride with us and that we have a strong partnership. So by doing that, I created and the team had a digital versus business dynamic. We got business rules wrong, we missed crucial use cases, we saved the business testing until the end, and we missed out on critical feedback loops. So I have since seen this and corrected it. I now understand that it's really a good idea to start a team with a stakeholder map. Let's talk about who is who, and if they're a core stakeholder, a direct, or an indirect. How involved do they need to be? Once identified, you can then get them together, maybe core, maybe a few direct stakeholders, fill out a product vision board together. I have a separate video on this if you want to see how to run one of these workshops. This creates really good alignment. It gets everyone on the same page, and it really creates a good bond and partnership together. I also now am conscious to keep stakeholders in the loop, and if you have users within your company, give them access to features as they're available. Don't wait until the end of the sprint. Don't save it for a sprint review. If it's ready mid-sprint, send it to them. Say, hey, can we get your eyes on this? It helps them see how much work is actually being done day by day. It creates a trust. The next mistake that I have made was I have avoided confrontation and I gave negative feedback directly to someone's manager. The consequences of this: low morale, broken trust between me and that woman. I set a really bad example of non-transparency and disrespect, and I really felt shitty about this. I now do this differently. If there's an issue I'm seeing or someone comes to me with an issue, I have a conversation with that team member first. They deserve that respect. I also keep a mindset of gathering data and hearing all perspectives. I need to go and talk to that person first before determining if it's really even a problem with them. Maybe it's, two-sided thing and something different needs to happen besides them just fixing it. And now I only go to the manager as a step after speaking with the team member, and if it's needed, that way they're not blindsided. All right, my next big mistake that I made was I have tried to force a team to commit to deadlines. I was working on a very stressful project one time. The management wanted to redo an entire consultant portal. They really pushed for a deadline, and they told me I need to make sure it happens. Oy. So I did. I told them, guys, we got to do this by this time. Panic, disbelief on how the team could do it, feeling a need to work late and burn themselves out, anger and resentment towards management, towards me, towards everyone. Toxic. So I course corrected. And I did at the time, after kind of seeing what was happening, I did take a stand and I told the management Scrum teams do not simply deliver what they're told and when. I had to tell them that we will review the product goals and the requirements with the team, product owner, and myself before any commitments or deadlines are talked about. We then will t-shirt size, because we do have to have a rough idea, is this a quarter's worth of work? Is it a sprint's worth of work? We'll give t-shirt sizes. And then in this particular case, because it was so unreasonable what they were asking, I put together a really old-fashioned project management Gantt chart, and I just put the data in front of them. I said, guys, we cannot do all of these initiatives by the end of June, which is what they were asking for. It helped them face realities, and it gave everyone a chance to rethink requirements, deployment strategies, and development strategies. All right, lastly, my fifth biggest mistake, I have covered for an overloaded product owner before. Rather than raising the issue and trying to ideate how to make this, resolve this situation, I've covered for them. I've tried to do some of their work, and I did not raise it. So the team struggled to have enough work in plannings. The backlog was a mess. We had chaotic sprints, things coming in last minute, not very well thought out user stories, missing details. The team often left stopped with questions, and we definitely missed out on working with the UX UI team, who needed more of a heads up than an hour. So I have made some course corrections. I've seen this, of course, happen many times. So now I raise the issue to the product owner. I make sure they understand how this is affecting the team. We look through their agenda together. We determine if there's anything they can cancel out of their agenda. Maybe they can decline a few things. Maybe they can just get some time back in some way. If that's still not enough, we then have a further conversation with the manager. We ideate all together how to shift some responsibilities off of them. I will also work with my product owner every week to slowly clean up the backlog or keep it up to date wherever we're at. And then I will have routine meetings with the product owner and engineering lead to look forward about what's coming up, gather details ahead of time of refinements and plannings, make sure we're in a good place to estimate stories, and find quick wins together. Well, there you have it, some of my worst mistakes made as a Scrum Master. Obviously, I've made plenty more, and I'll continue to make plenty more in the future, but I'm acknowledging them, I'm learning from them, and I'm on my own continuous learning path. So if you have any mistakes that you want to share, please leave them below in the comments, and please don't hesitate to like this video and subscribe if this content is interesting to you. Thank you.